I don't know that I'm ever gonna get the chance to be able to wear this shirt again, so I wanted to be wearing this during the expression of childish and childlike. Homer Simpson, Bart Simpson, I grew up on watching The Simpsons. And why you little... It's not a good thing to do, right? I hope my head doesn't explode or you don't explode. Don't do this at home, kids. Right? So childish and childlike is really going to be important to your growth, because this is the difference between having a fixed and a growth mindset. And when it really comes down to actually growing, instead of proving why you're already worth being worthy, you want to improve into being worthy. Therefore, you are choosing to improve rather than say, I'm already good enough, right? And, maybe you wouldn't believe how many people actually do this, but I have connected with hundreds of people that I interviewed over the past year, and, a great number of them, and I mean great, have extreme problems with being able to challenge themselves to improve into doing things rather than proving themselves by saying, yeah, I'm already good enough. I've done this and I've done that. And they're talking about the past. Keep that in mind. They're not focusing on the future, like what we can do moving forward. You understand? So, the interesting thing about this shirt is, Bart is very defiant, and he's always has this sort of nature where he's a rebel. He wants to do things his way, and Homer Simpson, ends up getting mad at Bart, and he chokes him out, and he says, "Why, you little do?" Right? So he gets upset, and he ends up expressing his emotions and his lack of responsibility for them onto other people at times. So when, maybe he screws up and he makes fun of him and laughs at him, he ends up choking him out. And that's not okay. It's not a proper behavior if I'm getting all this correctly. So childish versus childlike is really going to be the difference between having a growth and a fixed mindset. Now, what you might be doing in stopping yourself from being able to be your best and highest, truest expression of yourself is saying, yeah, my past accomplishments, everything I've already done, based on my position or my title, or based on, the reference of where you're speaking from, your words are not valuable in my perspective. They basically demean other people so they can lift themselves up to be able to be worthy of being understood. And therefore, the validation of why you are going to have to need my approval to be able to be recognized that, oh yeah, we're making this connection now because I validate you and your worthiness, is completely bullshit. And I mean bullshit. There's way too much bullshit in this world, and we're all being fed it. And we're all listening to it, and we're taking it in, and we're feeding ourselves bullshit. And the more bullshit you tend to feed yourself, because other people can't improve into being worthy of developing the wealth to have the health in their own mental space, is going to be a very scary world, because the entire world is basically made up of bullshit. Okay, so the more truthful people, the more truthful thinkers we have who are willing to be transparent with themselves and the rest of the world, means the more people who are willing to express themselves in their improvement and growing into being somebody that they actually are rather than creating someone they're not. You see, everybody's fronting. We got social media, we have the internet. Everybody's trying to make these videos, and they're like, oh, I'm the expert. You should listen to me. And sometimes I just look at these people, I'm like, who the hell do you think you are? Okay, you put up a Facebook or YouTube ad and you think you somehow know what you're doing. and it's very clear in your videos you're not confident at all about what it is that you're doing. I mean, you watch these Tai Lopez videos, and these kids end up talking and saying, I got these results, and I'm doing much better. And it's like, I can see through you to the point where I understand, your weakness in your voice, your tone. There's no confidence in your zone. So, who do you think you are? Maybe you got some sort of financial testimony from this, but character is what I took the time to build. Most people don't do that. I literally took the hardest route in improving into being someone worthy, okay, so that I could be able to share this with you. And believe me, it's 100 times harder to try and convince somebody through the things that you do and the things that you believe, because you're unreasonable in how you've developed yourself and your character to stand the test of time for others to believe in you, than saying, yeah, I have a title. Yeah, I did this thing. I made a movie. And, I happen to interview hundreds of people. And, I did thousands of sales calls. And, I just happened to lay down the entire load and, drop the ball on everybody in the past. So, you should have me as your emotional freedom coach. Seriously? That's a bunch of ruggedy bullshit, instead of connecting with people and having a valid, genuine connection, answering questions that they might have and addressing their concerns. You put up this giant wall saying, hey, come to me. You got to come through this funnel to get to me, baby. Then, when you've developed enough belief in me because you think I'm a credible authority, then you're going to give me my money. And then I'll talk to you. Fuck you. Okay, this video is so abstract. We got Homer Simpson, Tai Lopez, and a big old fuck you. It's like, so much stuff that's just like against the grain from whatever anybody else is going to teach you. Because they're preaching a bunch of stuff that they haven't done. And if you're going to listen to somebody, you should understand where they're coming from. Okay, I've been through everything that I'm sharing with you. That's why I'm storytelling. Okay, so here we are. Here we stand, childish versus childlike. There is a difference, okay? Childish is somebody who is not responsible for their own emotions. Meaning they press what they feel upon other people and they pass it on. They put the ball in their park. They throw their anger at them, their sadness, their own self-resentment, their own self-misery at the other person in front of them. And they're somehow responsible. That's not okay. They're trying to prove why they're worthy when they are not. They're going to say and make all these claims. And because they're in this position, they also don't believe people who say things that are real, because they believe that their claim to being worthy cannot be possible. Because in their realm of what they think is a reality, which they've built this illusion for them inside their mind, whatever they think and are going to be and say that they are being is actually false. And, their reality, it can't possibly be real. I've built this illusion in my head that I'm the best. I'm better than everybody else. I'm cool with being a child who throws tantrums. But no, I'm not a child who throws tantrums. Instead, I am the most worthy person, and you should bow down and listen to me because you are less than me. That is the mindset of a child. In some way. It's very shocking when people aren't willing to improve, and they would throw tantrums and go crazy in front of all these other people so that they act and play the role of a victim so that other people end up coming into their party and in their favor against the person who's actually completely innocent. And they end up becoming a victim as a result of the other person who is the culprit of this entire experience that was orchestrated because they're a child who needs attention and isn't actually worthy of being heard when that person in front of them actually took years to become somebody who's worthy of being heard, and everybody's ignoring them. That's my current experience. Because childlike, my friends, is when you are willing to improve into being somebody by constantly being curious, asking why, taking responsibility for your own emotions, doing new things, constantly creating new experiences. This is what childlike is. It's literally having a mindset of curiosity and not being able to make the connection between this is not possible because you say it is. Okay, this is possible because I say it is. And it's going to happen because I know it is. Because I'm the person who's going to make it happen. Because I'm improving into it. And I believe in what I see. Because when you are able to see that which you don't see more than what you don't see, you will see. Right? So if you focus on that which you don't see more than believing in that which you do see, then you will be able to see what you don't see more than what you do see. It becomes really exciting when that happens. So this is all about a process of improving and shifting the perspective that you are currently in. And instead of strangling everybody else because of your own self-loathing and misery, because you somehow came into the self-acceptance of this misery and you accepted this glorification from other people by saying, yeah, I'm the boss. You better call me boss because you are my minion. You don't know anything. You aren't worthy. That is not somebody that you want to listen to. Definitely not somebody you want to connect with either, because they are going to screw you over. Believe it. They're not responsible for you, remember? Or their own life. It doesn't matter, because they're not even in control. They are going to throw tantrums the moment shit hits the fan. Okay? So don't be around those types of people. You got to connect with people who are childlike. And people who are childlike, who develop to a heightened sense like I have, end up being unreasonable. In which case, I am unreasonable in my types and ways of thinking. Therefore, I am going to be the person who changes the world and makes a dent in the world because I'm improving into this person that I want to see in my life visioning that constantly continues to grow to the next level of his awareness. So, if you're childlike, you're making the connection between the dots of what is and what has not already happened. And when you can do that by constantly being curious and making, as we went over, the curiosity connection, okay, which is when you find new problems and identify what those problems are in life, also known as curiosity, and you connect that to giving life to imagination, which in turn gives you new options in life. That in turn gives birth to creativity, which is finding new solutions. If you can do that, then you are going to be more childlike, and you can be able to dissolve this childishness that you may be experiencing, and you may be able to bring other people into it too with you, but realize not everybody wants to learn and improve like you do. So you might be having some sort of boundaries that they're putting up, or some sort of denial that they're going to say because, they're not ready. And that's okay. So you welcome and walk with the people who are ready, the people who want to improve. Once they've reached that breaking point and they turn around, then maybe you can help them. But don't go after pursuing everybody else who isn't ready to improve. It's a waste of your time and attention and energy and focus that you could be spending on yourself. Because at the end of the day, it is yourself that matters. Your own awareness and your own unfolding that you're going to be releasing yourself and unlocking all of these barriers into. You can do it for other people too. But you have to be having two parties willing to be transparent with each other to be able to grow. Okay? So if this is all about growth and improving into this person that you foresee in being, then you have to be childlike. And that's where it comes into the picture, having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And this growth mindset and mentality is completely involved in improving into this person that you aren't, so that you can be the person that you want to be and see. Now, there is this quote that I want to put into the picture because, you can have a fixed mindset and think that you're worthy, but here's the thing. You're not actually worthy of being this person until you believe that which you are. Because, here's big picture, you can't be anything that you want to be, but you can be everything you actually are. If you made it along this far in this process, you're probably answering questions to yourself that you're trying to make the connection to, and you're finding out, oh my gosh, this is me. This is what I'm good at. And these revelations are really changing and filling you up inside. And if you haven't gotten these discoveries yet, in basically being a rebel to your own mind and switching the turning point for yourself, then you should probably go back, because you probably haven't unlocked the truths that you need to at this point. Because once you start answering these questions and becoming in a perspective and from a perspective where you're focused on a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset, if you keep doing what you're doing right now and doing an ad talk a day and building yourself up, my gosh, you're going to experience momentum. And that is a whole nother level of leadership, completely different from a title or being somebody who actually likes you, so they would want to follow you. They're going to follow you because you're setting the example. And the words that come out of your mouth are probably going to be the exact opposite of what you were saying before by trying to prove yourself of being worthy. So if you want to be someone that is worthy by improving into being that person, well, you're going to be spitting truth like no other. And this is a really exciting time period for you, but you got to stay consistent. Remember, this whole thing is about taking a commitment and following through with your own responsibility to that commitment. Okay? Not only are you accountable for yourself, but you're also accountable to the rest of the world. That's why transparency is so important. And being childlike without being transparent, those are kind of conflicting ideas, because the child is the one who isn't going to connect with everybody else because they're putting up this barrier, throwing a tantrum to get the attention that isn't deserved, so that they can be able to bypass other people's security and breach it by throwing their tantrum of insecurities onto somebody else and making it real for them when it's all just a false lie. It's complete bullshit. So, my friends, I hope you got something from this, and I hope you're going to experience being childlike, because this is one of the topics that is going to be pretty much the mainframe for how you develop into being the person that you actually are. If you can't be childlike and having a growth mindset, then you're going to really struggle, because this is all about being and doing you. And if you're not being emotionally free by truly expressing yourself to be understood so that we can live in harmony, then you're going to have some problems identifying with yourself and the rest of the world. Okay? So remember my why. My why is to inspire people to be emotionally free so we can truly express ourselves, be understood, and live in harmony. That is what I want for you. Okay? That is what motivates me. Okay? My mission is to shatter the image of degradation and replace it with the mode for developing opportunity. These may not be your whys or your whats, and you may not be the person whom I am. But if you're going through this process, it's probably going to be a good part of you in your development. I hope you can take that and use it and continue to develop yourself, because, everybody else, the entire world, depends on you being yourself, emotionally free, so that you can connect and live in authenticity. I love you. Thank you for your time and attention. And as always, try not to die until you're dead, okay?